Welcome to California. Sunny, maybe too sunny because a lot of California is unfortunately on fire. No pictures of flames in this video, but there is smoke and there is ash in the air. There is ash on the floor, and I do mean that literally. Literally, actually, is something which is becoming weird in America. Just like people say could care less, when you're supposed to say could not care less. The whole point is you care so little you could barely care less. Not could care less, that doesn't make any sense. Literally is now being used, not literally, in North America.
Also in the UK.
And just in all the world, in all the wrong places. I just saw a tweet that said I literally spoke to some people. You could just say you spoke to them. Because it's figuratively speaking to people, which is basically not speaking to them. Or literally speaking to them, which is just speaking to them. But anyway, moving on from couldn't care less, and literally other such nonsense, it is time to get into the North American Counter-Strike. We had an interesting 2 series on the European broadcast, but now here we are for North America. Let's have a look at the brackets and see what teams we will have gracing our screens this week. Team 1 and X Singularity, they are on the Caffeine stream, as you can see by the Caffeine logo. INTZ EUNITED is going to be here, 80k Riot Squad and Caffeine, and the Quest versus MIBR will also be on Twitch. Going into the schedule, you can see the order of the matches for this particular broadcast. Indeed, it will be INTZ versus EUNITED, and then the Quest versus MIBR. If I'm not mistaken, I think there are rumors of INTZ having bolts coming their way, which is never a bad look. Bolts is always a good addition. There's lots of recycled names in that team. So, I don't know, Bolts would be an interesting one. It's interesting, the stories of Bolts and Steel. Steel has gone to Europe. He's playing for Movie Star Riders. Definitely finding comfort speaking, I suppose, close to his own language, if not his own language. It's not English, so it's easier. But he's over playing with Movie Star Riders, and we have Bolts maybe not joining INTZ. I don't know if anything's been confirmed there just yet. I don't have any inside information on that. If I did, I wouldn't tell you. But there we go. We can go into the veto and see how this is going to shape up. The EUNITED brand has come a long way since we were first high on them with that original team. Obviously, Ace is playing Apex Legends now.
Yes, he is, for Energy.
Yeah, he had some nice highlights. He was playing Counter-Strike recently. There was a 2v2 tournament. I think it was that, or whatever
Rivals.
it was.
It was Twitch Rivals, I believe.
Oh, was it? Where was my invite for the Twitch Rivals tournament? Have you not seen my clips on Twitter? I'm doing crazy things as well. I snipe. Where's my invite? Twitch. I'm gonna have to talk to some people.
You're gonna have to
in
send
the
us
San
some
Francisco
emails.
office. I'm gonna have to send a telegram.
Hit up to Twitter.
I'll send a raven. Lost my pen. You'll see the veto in a second, ladies and gentlemen. Dan, INTZ, how do you feel about them? Again, a recycling of names that we've seen before.
Well, this iteration's been doing better. They seem to be more up to date in terms of how their approach to the game looks in terms of strategy and tactics, which is good. And honestly, it looks like a pretty big transformation in that sense, because that was always the issue with the kind of Luminosity, INTZ. Like a lot of the Brazilian teams seemingly didn't adopt the meta and the developments that have been made in the last couple of years in terms of how you play Counter-Strike. And it feels like they are on that page now, so that's great for them. But EUNITED is always a difficult opponent.
Ooh, we got Vertigo. This is good because I need to learn some flashbangs on that new A-bomb site. Train picked by INTZ. I cannot imagine they were expecting Vertigo to be in this series. I think they floated that, and in this particular matchup, I mean, I could be wrong, I could be very, very wrong, but I feel like Vertigo is going to be free for United. So this is a very interesting series. I cannot wait for the second map. I'm very excited for this. We've like amongst ourselves, we've played Vertigo maybe I'd say less than 5 times since it came out. I don't know if you've played it more, the betters, but Again, it's all changed. A lot of people think the map was changed too early. I mean, there are other maps, but I think this is the big story of the series. So, a lot of people think the A site was changed a little too early as the meta was still developing. But I think from a spectator point of view, you got smokes up on the A bomb site, you got variants, people kind of spraying each other, and I don't think it really tells the story of Counter-Strike how the map used to be. I don't really have an opinion on the changes at the moment, apart from they were dramatic. And from a player perspective, I was kind of enjoying figuring things out on the old map, but now it's so different. Just going through the paces and figuring things out and how the timings work with the walls where they didn't used to be towards A. I only really play A on the CT side, so that's all I can talk about. But do you have an opinion from what you've played so far?
I don't know. I'm not too big fan of the map just because of how short it is to get to each bomb site.
Yeah.
But I don't mind the changes.
You don't have that traditional mid.
I'm sorry?
You don't have that traditional mid
yeah,
fight.
It's kind of more chaos and small little hallways, but
Yeah.
I do like I kind of like the new changes in A, just the fact that gives the CTs a little bit more room to kind of move around, because what the Ts would do is that they kind of, well, actually, the new one, the CTs can just hop right down a lot of times, and there's a lot of fights where at that forklift in the middle, and I hate that because it was just like one ways everywhere and
just
staying behind the box.
And variants, right?
Yeah, so I like it to where now these CTs can't directly rush down the ramp. They have to take the long ways, and that side haul is pretty helpful. Just an extra dynamic to the bomb site, which I think is pretty cool.
Prediction time. Ladies and gentlemen, I think with that Vertigo pick, I have to pick a United because I don't think INTZ have the map pool, and I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but I know with some teams, especially in Europe, a new map comes in, and a lot of people will try to specialize in that map or learn as much about it. Classic versus Pro would do that all the time. Every map, no matter the condition, Taz would be like, "I love this map, it's great," but they would pick that up immediately. Some people shy away, and if you have your own map issues, you may focus on what you're trying to build on. I don't think INTZ would be prepared for that. I feel like it's a free map for United, and yeah, I'm not saying it's a confident pick, but yeah, I think I have to go with them just because of that fact.
INTZ for me, I think they've been making a lot of improvements, and with the focus that they've shown to make those improvements and the detail and the discipline they've shown in their game, I think they'll be learning from a lot of their mistakes that they've been making, and I don't think any of the mistakes are too critical. So I feel like they got more talent across the board ultimately.
I agree with Dan a little bit, but I'm gonna go with United. Just the fact that Vertigo is such, if you've never played the map or if you hardly ever play it, it can be a little awkward against teams that actually practice it because it's such a new map.
Yeah.
But I do like the all Bunyel now, all the time on INTZ. I think that's a huge plus. But the map like Vertigo can sometimes be a little difficult without, so we'll see from there.
Monsieur Connor, what are you going with today?
I'm going to go with INTZ as well. I think they'll 2-0 it. I think they'll win Vertigo as well.
Wow, that is quite the prediction from Sliggy. That would be a nice surprise. I'm making wild assumptions as far as INTZ and Vertigo are concerned, especially this iteration of Vertigo, which of course there are significant changes, but there are so many questions. I wish it was the first map almost, because it's all I want to talk about really. There are so many questions for me in terms of timing towards the A site. I think with the design of the A site, you basically require more investment from the CTs and perhaps more investment from the Ts in whatever play they want to take, because there's a lot of like fishing, poking and prodding, mostly from the T side, I suppose, with how it used to be. But I think now you have to have a more coordinated effort on either side. You can still throw the smoke, which lands off the steel girder and goes down the ramp, which has a tighter choke point. But I think with the longer timing to get to the ramp in the first place, you need more personnel investment, setups for pot flashes. But how that works out, the angles, the timing, is a question mark for me, which I look forward to seeing. But indeed, it will be an interesting one. But now we need to find out what the people think. I don't think United as a brand in Counter-Strike, with the revolving door they've had since we were excited about them, are going to have the strongest brand power. So I would imagine the Brazilians would overcome, but perhaps not. You don't have the stars like Henny on INTZ anymore. So 45%, I know how strong the Brazilian crowd is. I would expect more from this, but maybe they're holding out for the bigger Brazilian teams. We've got 55% for United. There's the first surprise, but where on earth do Pinnacle go with the odds? Because really, like, without looking at the maps, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have like a confident pick in either direction. And I'm high on Vertigo for EUNITED, but they still need to win 2 maps, and that's just 1, so there's no guarantee they're going to win that either. So I don't know what to expect here. Okay, they've got EUNITED as a quite reasonable favourite, which is cool. This is interesting.
It's pretty even matchup. I mean, I know we're talking about Vertigo, how EUNITED might have the edge, but is what we've seen the ups from EUNITED, we've seen the ups from INTZ, but how low can they go? I don't know.
Just before we start the match again, just we have a few seconds or minutes here, so just a reminder that we have some updates to the FACEIT platform. If you are a premium user, you can select which maps you want to play and which maps you don't want to play, and the ones you don't want to play will be removed from the queue that you are playing in. So have a look at that, have a look at the changes. There are blog updates as well, so look out for that where more things are explained. There is also the Minerva system, which is banning people for being toxic, which is a thing in North America. Just anywhere you go, really. I think there's a thing in North America where people like to be edgelords online. If you go to like a Valve deathmatch, all the profanities and like 9/11 jokes and just stupid stuff is coming out. So if you do lean towards that kind of direction, then you're going to get wrecked by bots, man. Skynet is here, and it's now, and it's on FACEIT, so check it out one way or another, the easy way or the hard way. I look forward to seeing more statistics about that. It's really cool. We have a partnership, an AI partnership with Google. I actually know someone who works at Google in AI as well. That bot that they have that learns games and plays other people, he works on that amongst other things, which is pretty cool. So it's all, the world is smaller than you think, I'll put it that way. So that's all pretty interesting. I am 5 points away from level 5. I should be more than level 5, but the point is we're making progress, man.
Today.
So I've solo queued down to level 1 multiple times.
So the fact
I honestly don't know when I was last level 5. It's been that bad. I've just been stuck in like 2, 3, 4 for ages. But we've got a squad in the office, and we're making progress.
It's the YPrex. It's the YPrex.
It's not the YPrex, man. They do help, though. They are really good. If you don't know what he's talking about, look on the workshop, type in YPRAC. It's, I don't know who it is, but they have a map for each map in the game, every active map pool, and there's so many things you can learn. Smokes, flashes, cough, cough, people in the back. There's pre-fire situations as well. It's all really well done. You throw a grenade in the grenade simulator, or whatever you call it. It follows the grenade with a camera, then it goes back to you. So there's no like messy flying around, no clipping and stuff as you would normally do with your own config. They are awesome. They are really, really good to learn from. And I think the pre-fire is really good for people who don't have that much experience in the game, just to give them an idea of what to visualize as they're moving through. Instead of just being like an actual boss in the game, you know where you need to line up your crosshair as you're coming through a checkpoint. So those are pretty cool. Check them out. You can learn a lot from them. They are very rewarding. Also, jumps training. There's a map called Jumps Training by Whiskey-O, which has various jumps in the game, like jumping in and out of Mirage window, the old nuke window jump, as well as things on Inferno and all sorts. It's a fun map. I always get stuck on that train map. I can't do it from that train unless it's a KZ map, because you have more mobility abilities.
Just one day.
I don't know how I'm supposed to do it. I don't even understand.
You gotta try harder.
I don't even understand, but those are cool maps. If you don't remember any of those maps, just send me a tweet, and I'll always reply to you and give you all the relevant links. So yeah, we are close to starting. When's the next podcast coming down?
It depends. There's lots of reschedules, unfortunately. I don't know yet.
Okay, but you have some around the corner.
Yeah, depends if you can schedule them and execute, because I have a lot of reschedules.
Okay, the answer was yes, basically. There is one around the corner.
But I don't have a date. I can't make promises.
I know. Yeah. That's why it's around the corner is not necessarily a promise. It's not committing
I hope it's around the corner.
It's just okay. Never mind. I tried. So we're just waiting for the last few players to arrive on the server. I just got a book in the post. This is a bit off topic because it's about watches. You know, I like to know about watches.
Book?
But it's cool because it has an actual crown, like a crown you have for an actual watch, and you can pull the crown to take the book out of the. Although it doesn't have a gap on the other side, which is kind of stupid, but so you have to kind of do that anyway. But that's pretty smart. It's nice. Good stuff.
What's it about? Just other watches?
It's about people it's like a person on a watch and like how it connects to them, or what the history behind it is, or things like that, how it resonates with them. It's supposed to be really good, so I wasn't going to pick it up, but I had very high recommendations, so I did. Nerd stuff, actually. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, you'll see that we've had a lot of discussion about paracord cables for mice. To explain in the simplest terms what a paracord cable is, if you think about your normal mouse, you might have a mouse bungee, you might have it taped to the side of your monitor like the old school heads used to do, but the cable just has like a weird shape and sometimes feels like it's getting in the way and doesn't really move like naturally. But a paracord cable is basically like a dead snake in that it's just going to move, like the part of your mouse which is moving the cable will move, the rest of the cable will just sit there, whereas a mouse is just going to be like that and the whole thing is just kind of moving like this. So a paracord mod to your mouse is cool because basically, as I understand it correctly, at the end of the cable inside the mouse there are like these metal contacts which touch some other ones, so you can easily replace it. They have tutorials on the various websites that sell the paracord cables. I just got two in a post in London. So when I go back to London next week, I'm going to be modding my mice with paracord cables. I'll put videos up on Twitter and maybe on YouTube, but it's something to look out for or look into. I retweeted loads of people who were talking to me about different places they got them from. So if you look at the recent 5 or 10 or so tweets, you'll see plenty of information about those. Have a look, man, because I've tried wireless mice and they're cool and they're really good technology-wise, but I'm used to one type of mouse and the shape of that mouse, the weight of that mouse, the sensor as well. Because even two different sensors at the same DPI are not the same. There's a difference. And I don't want to have variants, so I want to stick with my mouse. I want to try the paracord. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I think that'll be good.
What's the delay on the game?
Good question. What is the delay, production? Communicate with us. Oh, okay.
Typical
there seems to be a
Americans.
mix-up in schedules, so they thought the start time was later than it was, so they're joining the server now. Can we have a look at my MP7 Whiteout? It's my favorite. It's my favorite gun. I'm really happy.
Not the Golden
I'm like a
Promise
child
anymore.
with a teddy bear. Honestly, you remember when I don't know if you had a teddy bear and you were a child and you were fond of it and whatever. I had one of those, and I honestly feel like that with my MP7 Whiteout. I'm super happy with it.
I didn't have feelings.
Steam Friends has done great. Anyway, I called mine Arctic Avengers, which is the Arctic squad, which aren't in CS:GO. Is it Biome? I feel like one of the custom maps has Arctic Avengers.
Is it an Office?
Office? No.
No?
No.
Thought Office had.
They're not in CS:GO.
Not in CS:GO?
Arctic Avengers, just a big white camo.
Yeah, Office isn't. They don't have it.
Clearly, you don't play Office.
I don't play Office.
I
but
play a lot
it's
of
a snow
Office.
on the map, so I figured.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. I mean, it's snow on the map. That doesn't mean you have to dress like you're in the mountains, though.
It's true.
Because it is an office.
You're right. You're
so it wouldn't
inside
make
at that
sense,
point.
yeah.
You probably took off your coat when you got in.
Although, is it Inception, where they have like this building in the middle of nowhere and they have Arctic Avengers stuff on, more or less? Yeah. I love that in the CS:GO 20 stickers, they have the little Arctic Avengers.
I had one of those.
I would like to see them. Because they were on Dust 2. Or at least one of the models on Dust 2 previously. So when they put new Dust 2 on, I thought there were loads of legibility issues. For example, there was a certain model, I think it was one of the black dudes, where if you went through Dust 2 B doors, in front of the box, you couldn't really see him properly. And I took some screenshots, and I think there were some angles on the B bomb site as well. There we go. Look, how cute is that? That's my teddy bear. I love that. You got to spin it, man. You got to spin to win. You can't spin it. It's got a pleb mouse. Regressively, that's a shame. I had the weirdest problem. I was playing yesterday, and the bottom left quadrant of my screen, I could not click on.
Really?
So if I pressed escape to go to settings, I couldn't click on the settings button because it was just below that thing.
Oh.
It was really bizarre. I had to kill Explorer and then reboot it again.
I've never heard
One of the weirdest issues I've ever had on this kind of generation of Windows.
That's weird.
It was super weird.
Let's say in 1.6, you could have chose your own skin. How come you can't do that and go?
I know. Leak Crew all the way, man.
Yeah,
Who
Leak
didn't pick
Crew.
Leak Crew? But it's all changed now. I would like to see a map, though, with Arctic Avengers on. I really would. I think it was... No, Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is the one. I keep getting them mixed up, Sub-Zero and Biome. Sub-Zero had Arctic Avengers on there.
Okay.
Which was pretty cool. But I want the Jamaicans from Seaside as well. I'm throwing a flashbang.
Yeah.
We need to get them in the game. I like Seaside because on the pier, you could... Like, the pier had the wooden supports for the pillars, the wooden pillars, right? So you could go on the side of the pier and just like sit there and just kind of camp in a stupid place, and also sometimes fall off and die. But yeah,
I've never played that map. I don't know.
it's back in circulation, I think. But it's all about the elo, man. I can't be playing. I played on matchmaking game just so I can do Overwatch.
Is Seaside the one that's the house on the lake, or is that lake?
Mid has some elevation. No, that's lake.
Oh,
lake has the house on the lake.
Okay.
Yeah, but Seaside has it's got like a big wooden warehouse towards B. In the middle, it's got like a mid and an elevation, I think, with a ladder, and then a kind of warehouse inside there. And yeah, it's different. It's got Jamaicans on it. So, but there's no food. There should be like a food place with the rice and peas and the plantain. You know.
I like plantains.
We've got like the menu on Inferno, right? Dan, why didn't you say something? But clearly you're doing a lot of filling here. You've got to contribute, man. You've got to help me out here.
Well, I think you got it covered, Jax.
What have you got to say? Tell me something.
You're doing a good job.
Say something interesting. It's all you now.
The engine's 15 years old.
Yeah, I agree.
There's so many, like, every issue that we have is just like should be a non-issue if we had an up-to-date engine. So I hope that gets fixed.
I hate Peeker's advantage. I think it's dumb.
Well, that was an interesting conversation. I don't know which guest we had. Maybe Sean or somebody. We were talking about if you change, like, what if you had an update which actually placed the camera correctly so that there's no right or left eye peaks anymore. Obviously, it would change the way so many angles are played in the game. Should you do that? And I forget if it was Sean or who it was, but they were of the opinion that you shouldn't do it because everyone's used to the angles. But
didn't Valve release something on Twitter about that, about the whole left-right camera angle, that they couldn't do it or something, or they didn't want to do it? Because I remember talking about it last time, and then they replied to you guys on Twitter about it, and it's like some complication that I don't know if they have to redo the engine or something like that.
Nothing is impossible, man. I refuse to believe that.
Because one of the issues with that is it's very unintuitive. If you don't know much about the game, you can't see that that's an advantage or a disadvantage, and even understand that as a concept unless someone tells you, that's an inherent problem if you want a lot of people to play your game. So I feel like that at some point needs to be addressed, because it is a significant difference if you know about it and if you don't. So
it would completely change the makeup of the game, though, which would not necessarily be a good thing. I mean, on paper, it's a good thing, but in reality, it might not be.
Yeah, you'd need a new iteration of the game, kind of like everything at once. But also, because it's exacerbated greatly when you have somebody who's playing with 100 ping or something like that. Because you add, like, you're on the left eye peak and they have the right eye peak, plus they have, let's say, the kind of max amount of anti-lags netcode on their peak. You will die before you actually see them. Like, they will not appear on your screen and you will get just shot in the face on some peaks. It's happened to be a bunch of times online. So there's definitely like a lot of issues with it. But people just kind of, it's just just what it is right now. So we can't change it. But would you change it if in an ideal world?
I don't know, because you need to see what it's like with it changed to really answer that question.
Project A will have that, it seems. They seemingly are trying to, like, anything about CS that seems like remotely broken, we're going to fix that. And
yeah,
that was their sales pitch.
Yeah, basically. Good luck with that. They're going to need more than that to try and gobble Counter-Strike is something which is simply not going to be achieved.
Yeah,
like, you can have your own fan base, your own base of players, but you're not going to take Counter-Strike players. And then there's not a Counter-Strike. That's just not realistic.
I think it depends. I think there's like like so many different scenarios you can imagine. Because for example, if it becomes by far the most competitive game and you have elite players in this game that get offers to go do that, and it's way more competitive because way more money is getting flown into it. Like, also, if you're a sponsor,
more money, that doesn't mean it's more competitive.
If you're a sponsor and you're going into a game, like, are you going to invest in CS? Let's say if CS has way less exposure on numbers,
it won't.
Probably not going to invest in it.
It won't.
But you're not really having counter arguments. You're just saying it won't. It's like,
you can't. This is 20 years of legacy, man. You got people surfing.
Yeah, I mean,
you got people KZing in anime bedrooms, man. You can't compete with that.
You can definitely compete with that. I've seen it happen many times.
And where are they now? All I see is Counter-Strike.
I've seen, like, if you're a player and you want to have the best career and you want to have the most competitive career, you'll go to the thing that's the most competitive. Very often, a lot of competitive players will feel that drive and urge. You want to be the best at the things that is the most competitive.
The best way to get into a game on a high level is joining at the start. Get your name
Yeah.
out there, get known.
Yeah, but we've always got more younger generations of players coming through.
Barely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like every year there's a couple players, like new players, like
Yeah,
one
in this
or
game,
two.
but I mean in competitive gaming in general. There's plenty of players to spread across the different titles, man. Counter-Strike's going nowhere.
Oh, the dualies.
Oh, it never works though. Never really. I don't know if I've ever really seen it work out very well.
I don't believe in them.
No. They feel like the most useless weapon in the game.
Useless? I don't know
Most
about
useless, reasonably priced. Well, I mean, the Negev is it a Negev?
That gun
Which
is
is reasonably
underrated.
priced now?
That gun is underrated. Oh wait, we're talking about the,
How much
the one
is it
that's like
now?
1300, 1400.
Yeah, which one's that?
I think
M249?
that's no, that's Nagov.
Oh, yeah, the Negev is
The
the cheaper one.
M224,
That's the
whatever.
5K
That
one.
is the worst gun. Just
M249.
for the how much it costs.
Yeah. Well,
Siggy thinks it will come into the meta.
what will?
Yeah,
Nagov.
the M249.
I don't
The
think that one.
M249.
It's
The
too
only person
expensive.
who plays the M249 is Threat.
The Nagav though, that will come to meta once they realize how good it is.
And how would you use it?
If they toss a smoke, you got 150 bullets for one clip.
Yeah,
Go
that's
ahead,
just
walk through my
tracers.
smoke. Go ahead, I dare you.
Yeah, but remember that if they changed the nature of those bullets, it's not like it was before. They don't penetrate anything anymore. Don't forget the old bullets for the Negev were amazing. The new bullets, absolutely, well, they're not great. I'll say that much. If you're next to a smoke with that, you're just going to get blasted from your tracers. Speaking of tracers, there won't be any USP tracers, but there will be for other weapons. EUNITED are being pushed back. INTZ putting on the hurts, but now Cooper's got a 1 versus 2 with 10 seconds on the clock. This has been a long pistol round, long standing around, so there was discussion that Cooper will turn things around. INTZ were at strong advantage for a time there, but a 4K from Cooper will say no. I mean, pistol rounds, I always say, the nature of a pistol round, anything can happen, but a lot more should have happened, I think, in this one. 2 versus 4. Looking for the jewels there, INTZ, and they lost them ultimately.
Triple HE on INTZ, so that'll be fun. Not really much of an investment except the Beagle behind that, so they're going to go out with a bang, literally.
Oh
And
yeah.
that is fantastic. We've seen actually INTZ do that on their previous train game, and it worked out. Well, for damage, I don't think they got kills out of it last time, but that's beautiful. It's a really good spot too because that's not just a spot that people might hold, but they'll sometimes CTs will run through that. It's like part of the route towards sandwich if your player's going to be moving towards that position. So yeah, that's a pretty. I feel like it's pretty plus EV. That's those nades, although you can't do them all the time. Obviously, it's predictable. And the walk upper. I like this for INTZ. They've got the kill. They got the burst upper. They're on the bomb sites. Food is in a maybe troublesome position, although nobody checked the side alley and he's denied the plant. That's unfortunate. I felt like they could have gotten a plant out of that, but they will get 2 kills.
Yeah, good job by Food right there, just sitting on that low ramp, just killing the bomb planter right before he got the bomb. So very smart play. We saw it actually in the last series. Who is it? Is it Tizian? It's hiding behind that low ramp.
Four Kriegs in the AK. INTZ on road. Let's see how their T sides look like. So, no sign of bolts on the team just yet if it is to happen. Again, it is the rumor mill, but with all these compromised Skype accounts, they're often true. Eyes towards Ivy. Nothing showing for EUNITED. Cooper has an off angle with the M4A4, moving through Old Bomb to change things up as Freakazoid will be there as well. Keeping an eye on it, dropping a smoke now. And EUNITED, it seems, will have a focus towards the T-con area.
So that's the second smoke that we saw today, where it's not all the way out in Ivy. It's more of a lurk smoke. Saw Big do that as well.
Okay, Yell connects both the dots there. Eventually, that one looks ropey. And INTZ have a man advantage for a time. That's a big upgrade for Freakazoid. We've got creep out of B at the same time. It's action all over the map, quite literally. And SHZ has left default B with the bomb in T-Con. Difficult round to break down in a short space of time. There's a lot happening in that one. I think INTZ may be fishing for entries all at the same time, but they're left with one player and no rounds.
Too much time to do much here. Everything's covered for United, so keep the Krieg alive. Although it will make the money a little bit weird. Actually, no, it won't be too horrendous actually, because they should actually be able to half buy because they're going to have a lot of loss bonus. Well, I guess like 2,400 loss bonus will be coming through, so it's not going to be too bad. With the Krieg for some added firepower, they'll be able to get themselves. They could go for a B burst or something like that. Oh, it's 2,900. Sorry. Yeah, of course, because you get the 1,900 at the beginning. You lose the pistol. Quite an interesting and impactful economy change. Something that I actually like it quite a lot. Although with the Kriegs as they are, it can create some pretty rough situations. But
Surprised INTZ did not buy force buy completely. Probably could have dropped a gun or get a Galil. I know it's suboptimal.
yeah,
Most likely save next round anyways.
getting 2 or 3 kills in this round is pretty important for them. But as you say, they haven't really given themselves much to work with, and that I think a force buy or just investing a little bit more just to get some position could be really useful. And they put the Krieg on Ivy. Did he shoot any shots? No, he hasn't actually. He's got full bullets, so the Krieg has not been spotted yet. I've got 1 flashbang.
INTZ, they're pretty spread out still. I mean, the bomb's in T-spawn as Yell's trying to get this pick on top of Pop Dog. Doesn't see anyone. Cooper holding the lower ramp. Now EUNITED playing 2 inside. Pretty safe kind of setup. You have 3 CTs playing towards Sandwich and Hell area and behind Red. Just trying to focus on one quadrant of the outside bomb site.
35 seconds. Classic slow INTZ round. Now, at this point, you almost want the pistoling players to be the meat shield for the Krieg to do as much damage as possible. They're all together, 24 seconds. There's a flash over the top, and the play begins. Cooper, some target selection problems, but he's watching the cross with a Wildfire sniper rifle. And there may be a chance to plant the bomb on default, but the numbers will be thin. The Krieg has been lost for the time being. Destiny and Yell remain. It was just Yell. I don't know where the rifle is, but I don't think it's retrievable. Looking to deliver anything he can at this point. They have managed to plant the bomb. And they'll get 1 frag out of it, but it is 4-0 for EUNITED.
Like to pop flash towards the end. Trying to eliminate any careless deaths. At this point in the game, you want to build up the economy. Save the guns, save your armor. Don't give up 1-on-4s. Now, big round for INTZ. They do have an op on Yell, and this is what we talked about, I think, last week against them. The sooner Yell has an AWP, the better off INTZ ends up doing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he seems to be an AWPer that he does a lot better against opponents that are of equal or lesser level on paper. Charlie's rushed towards Sandwich here from Olafmeister. He's absolutely nailed this one. Really nice play. 2 players pushing towards Ivy. There is some space for a duel there, but he's going to lose that. And the positioning as well, but he's done the damage to create the space on the A bomb site. He's also forced the United to expend quite a bit of utility outside. And they'll go for a rotation. And Zan is lurking Ivy. Yale's looking for that pick. But this is the real problem. Food in this close position with the M4. The flash sails past him. He can really do a lot of damage. He could potentially end this round, depending on how INTZ attack this position. Oh dear. They have no idea. He's down here. That's a free kill. Almost free.
We'll take it. Oh, look at Freakazoid now. Well, he'll eat the shotgun. Not everybody would have the AWP out in that situation. So at least that's something. Jumping past D-Box. Vanity will be spotted, but they have time. They have the map control or the position. No one's really confident with map control right now. Right now, excuse me. Zand heard a scope, I do believe. And will it pay off? Oh, he unscopes, but still lands a headshot, of course. It's still more accurate than the AK-47. Vanity hiding on default, and it seems this round might be lost in a dying seconds. Food in a 1 versus 3 with 5 HP. Not ideal. And surely he can't go for this. He can't really pick up the Krieg either because it would reveal his position. You can see he hesitated about it, but he will pick it up. Maybe he won't be pushed. They might not know he's got 5 HP. They probably don't. But here we are. It's the first round for INTZ, but the nature of in which they won this round doesn't feel replicable or reliable to me. I think if you played this round at 10 times, it might go to EUNITED half the time. That's how it feels to me.
We'll have to see if Cello can get out the sandwich again. It can be pretty free. That's a shame, isn't it?
I was wondering about that.
Oh dear. That's embarrassing. Yeah, but perhaps you want to get Cello out into this position again. Fast into Olafmeister, you get down towards the sandwich position. You toss that deep molly so you can't get peeked from hell, and you can do all sorts from there. You can even just hold position, you know, drop the smoke, just hold position. You know, you create quite a distraction which your teammates can capitalize upon, especially if you have ladder control as well.
You guys seen a lot in the last couple series about people over-aggressing.
Oh no.
I think he was strafing before he shot there. But if he connected with the arm, that's a kill. But he did not. 500 HP for EUNITED. Now they just need the quad damage. Pop flash goes too deep. Food has a nice angle, and then there were 3. SHZ considers it, but chooses to avert. Things becoming worse potentially, and will fall back. They won't have any position INTZ beyond ladder. Not wanting to give too many sound cues away. This might be another slow one.
The triple orbs. Couple smokes. Actually, several smokes that can be used for outside. I think that would be the optimal thing, most likely, given that there are so many orbs on all these angles. If you walk into any of these angles, which often happens when there's this many players left alive, it is just you just lose players for free.
Dry peaks.
It's so easy for an orb. You know, you hold a tight angle if you expect a walk peak, and again, it's often going to be a walk peak in these spots.
And we're kind of seeing the problem that we saw maybe a month or 2 ago with INTZ about their slow play style on T side.
INTZ and Luminosity.
Just super slow, and it's very hard to play super slow against teams like EUNITED, who, as we see, they have 3 AWPs right now. But at that round, they did have 2 AWPs at the start of the round. And so EUNITED making a pretty good read on INTZ on, look, if these guys are going to wait till 15 seconds to execute in the bomb site, hold AWPs at some long-range angles, and then have the riflers play these off-anglers / support role, and just kind of go back and forth from there.
Meaty grenade into main. That is a good start for EUNITED, 5-1. I think the toughest thing really at the moment for EUNITED is just holding angles, not losing focus, because that's all they're left to do for a lot of these rounds. And again, the bomb has been left literally in T-spawn, as opposed to near it, close to it, just dumped in T-spawn, and that's just a waste of people's time. It will be taken towards Ivy with a second and third player. And a smoker's gone up. So what do? Do they go for a boost behind the server? Seems that might be the play. It's being looked for. Maybe somewhat obvious with Vanity. There we go. What else does he have to look at that point? And a HE through the smoke as well. 4 players for INTZ, less than a minute on the clock. They've got 2 with the bomb on Ivy. Here are the usual grenades. We've got a lurker above B in SHZ. It looks like he's going to be joined with Cello. So presence has been shown But INTZ have to walk, because if anybody's in the Olofmeister position, for example, they would hear the running towards main and so on. So it is a long journey to meet up with their teammates, and there's not much time on the clock, as per usual.
It's going to be a tough one. Although, what will be a nice saving grace for INTZ is that there's, well, as I was about to say that there's nobody close to the bomb train itself, but that's changed now because Marky's gone close with food for support. They're going to walk through the upper bombs, or upper smoke, and this is not a good look here. No one's watching the upper position. Both players trained down on the lower parts of the bomb site, which will allow a bomb plant to go down. Food looking for the next shot, trying to keep himself in position. His teammates need to get there. That's a great shot, though. And now the rest of his teammates can get in there as well.
Marky's team taken by surprise there. That is quite the peak from Freakazoid. Destiny, does he go for the W here? He knows there are multiple AWPs, and there's one of them. So, again, a round going down to the dying seconds for INTZ. They get a bomb plant, they take out 2 players.
So good timeout by INTZ. They know for sure at least 2 ops. I'm not sure if they expect 3 at this moment, but for sure 2. And so at this point, they have to talk about, okay, we can't just slow down. We have to hit something maybe as a team with smokes and flashes, you know. Make the operators retake bomb sites, push them back some way. Isolate the support players that are holding those off angles towards them.
The odds are slipping away from INTZ, unless you believe in the comeback. But again, they're pretty slow around the choke points. Not putting themselves in necessarily the strongest positions to win here on train. Now, I feel like with some of the larger sniper personalities they've had on the rosters previously, that they've almost been unshackled at this point where they can have a more of a complete team. But, so in that sense, there aren't any more excuses. They've showed promise of late, but right now they're just showing us dry rounds.
The thing is that INTZ has players that play really well in terms of fast Counter-Strike. And part of playing slow Counter-Strike is so that you can play fast Counter-Strikes. You know, you want to modulate the pace of your defaults to catch your opponents off guard, make them waste utility, make them make mistakes. There's a couple clean kills for Food. He's going to stay alive. The bomb's actually down on the ground. He's going to see that. Another kill for Food. And it's looking extremely disjointed for INTZ. No trades whatsoever. Cooper's 11 for 1. Food is 13 for 3. They are getting served a banquet of frags.
Yeah, it's more of a pinata, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a lack of. It feels like a lack of a team effort to actually get position. And the spacing's not great either.
There's not. You don't see things on T-side train from INTZ that you see from most. It's like some of the pages were burned and they only try things from certain other pages which are still alive. It's like unless it's like really late in the half, then you might see a fast round from them, I feel.
That's like a half-baked inside take. They tossed, what, maybe 2 smokes? Like, where were the flashes? Where were any Molotovs or anything? Yeah. It just felt like Food was sitting behind the bomb train area, and you got 2 free kills. Like, look at him. Where's the nade? Like, nothing coming over. Where's the pressure?
3 timeout round victories now for EUNITED from 7 rounds. That's almost half by timeout.
The thing there as well, like you can see at the end there with the highlights, the first 2 players are so far away from the 2 players behind, and there is another player there who's supposed to be part of the rounds, but maybe as the protecting the flank, I'm not sure. But to win that bomb site post plant, you can't sit back. You got to take forward position on the B yard. Otherwise you will guaranteed lose, especially if you haven't forced utility away from the other team. The CTs get easy retake.
They almost play T-side train like they're the CTs.
Yeah, it's definitely got to mix things up. And EUNITED are doing a really good job because they're just playing really tight, disciplined CT setups that are safe. And that's really all you need to do so far against this. Obviously, Food playing and Cooper in particular are really hitting all their shots too, so that helps. Got a Krieg now, that's not a good sign for INTZ.
Nice up front goal from Food. Plenty of bullets. There is a trade. They'll force their way in. Vanity's waiting for that default plant to come through. 45 seconds. Destiny moves into position. The HE should be good. There is Kevlar though. It's a little deep. 4 versus 2. Round win is unlikely. There's a flashbang. SHA gets sprayed down, and it's Destiny versus 4 with a Desert Eagle. The bomb plant at this point, to be honest, is impressive. Just Cooper up top, and it will just be... There's not enough damage either. 1 kill is not enough.
It's kind of amusing. I think Food, on his second kill, he was aiming at the other guy, and you think he thought that his Krieg had reset, the recoil had reset, but because it goes to the right and up, just instant headshot on the guy to the right of the guy he's aiming at, which I thought was amusing.
Look at this buy from EUNITED. If you can even call it a buy. They've got 3 Kriegs on the CT side of Train. That is a bad situation for any T side.
More Kriegs than the T side.
The choke points are so tight on Train. If the CTs have got Kriegs in their current iteration, what can you do? Got some presence shown by United through Ivy. Will they leave Cooper in situ? These grenades will be seen and heard by INTZ, who start slow. You've got to expect there's an investment towards Ivy, but there's no real response here from INTZ. A headshot through the wall won't be enough for a frag on the B bomb site. And they quietly move away to stand above the ladder.
So we're getting an outside take at least. You can see the smokes are about to come through. They'll be able to get ladder for free. Freaksoy is moving up towards. He's got a better angle there, but he is not anticipating it as well as Destiny is. Opening pick, they're going to have smokes and everything on the outside bomb side. Good look here for INTZ to take this round.
Starting to spread. Now we've got the numbers game and execute into the A bomb site, and it looks good. Why don't we see more of this? Vanity trying to shoot under the bomb train. They're losing numbers now, but they've just gained one again. And there's a round for INTZ, reasonably paced, active, coordination.
Smokes and flashes. It's great.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Teamwork.
So that's the thing about Train.
Objectives.
You have to get into you have to get your players in position, and in position is not everyone being stuck behind the choke points trying to get picks. You have to find a way to get out the choke points and to gain some meaningful positioning. And then all of a sudden Yell's got all this space to play with and the support to do it with as well. Still double also for United. Nice one from Food. He's been so good here towards inner.
Knows his timing.
INTZ pretty spread apart right now. They do have the ability to split onto the A site. Is likely going to have to go through that unless they want to wait out all the smokes, which they have the time to do. Now they've got to make a decision here whether they group up towards T-Com with a couple, 2 or 3 players and go for, again, the outside split, or if they just walk back in. There's pretty much the only options they have.
They've just been Molotovs out of T-Con, but Cello has an angle, so to CT's were to venture through. He would be in a position to do something about it. Although Marky has an incendiary. But where does it go? He's got the off angle at the moment. 40 seconds, INTZ. What is the time? What is the go? Okay, 40 seconds and the grenades are deployed. Now, where will Marky deploy his incendiary? He's thrown it into ladder, and Cello will swing with some pre-fire, not seeing anyone. 22 HP, and down he goes. Yell and Destiny remain with 25 seconds on the clock. And now it's just Yell. With all this, they have got 1 kill. He's creeping towards the site. He would have seen somebody in the middle, but what does he do now? He's not going to 1 versus 4 with 15 seconds, so does he hide in plain sight? Does he die on his sword? By the hell position, now he's got to make a play and fall on the dagger. 9-2 for United.
Again, it's the same problem. They can't get that forward positioning, and it's really a struggle. I mean, again, credit to United, because one thing that they did there is that they just had 3 playing close to E-box, giving up Ivy, and so INTZ, what they need from their defaults is to get like proper Ivy control. I don't think we haven't seen that once. I think just like you can just even with one player where you get the smoke and the molly that you talk about often, James, like that is enough to pull a player away from the forward defense to allow your teammates out of ladder, out of T-Con for a split.
And if not, you just take Ivy at that point. That's
Yeah.
why you see a lot of teams work Ivy.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, he was flying for so long.
Well, there's something. An early frag. A minute 30 and INTZ are in a 5 versus 4. This is unprecedented. And I'm not even trolling. United looking for a response. First one is to start to take main. Because it doesn't want to touch the Molotov, but he's concerned that he won't get there in time. He will. Now, this is unorthodox to go wide. Normally, a CT will just sit in the corner like so. Freakazoid seen moving out of T-Con. That may be a false sense of security. They line up, though, for Destiny. Marky may be trying to protect his teammate, but maybe better to sack him, worst case scenario, because now they've lost 2. 2 versus 4 for INTZ. Cooper spots them moving through the smoke. Got to be careful with these sprays. He won't find anybody. He's delaying them, though. It's stopping them from getting anything done. Food at Old Bomb in the meantime is putting in work, and Cooper's made it a 1 versus 2. How many bullets does he have left?
I'm gonna guess 2, 3.
But he has repositioned. Last seen at Old Bomb / Ivy, and now he comes in from Connector. Missing one of the shots. He can't miss another one. Otherwise, it's reload time. One T's gone towards Sandwich, the other towards Ivy. TZR falling back. There's a smoke to deploy, Cooper. Oh, this is all taking way too long. Yell up top. Oh, the smoke's gone way too far as well, unless that was his intention, but there we go. The round goes to way of INTZ. They get the early 5 versus 4 and they convert it, but their money sucks.
Nice. The one thing I'm curious about is the positioning here from Marquis, because both what's a way more favorable position is to take the positions very far away from the wall on the left side, and then even with the left eye peek, you get the geometric advantage. So you see the guy coming first, and they double 2-man cleared the whole place. So he could have sat any single position he wanted to, but he took the close to the wall spot, which is harder to react to. So I'm surprised about that. And that made the difference for INTZ. They were able to get the round because of winning that battle, getting the 2K there, and somehow United still have a double op.
They have a double op, and they have 2 push in the Ivy. I wonder if they peek down T-spawn. I think Fu's about to do this. And he just misses the shot on INTZ, which forces him to fall back. But it's a good amount of info for EUNITED.
It's a great response. Food will get the opening kill of the round. These are the rounds where I feel like INTZ are in some ways more vulnerable, where they don't really capitalize on their advantages. 2 AWPs remain. We've got 2 quick kills for INTZ as I say that, which are important. They will hear the scope of Food. They know he's hunting. And there's a rotation away into the B bomb site, so this might be a worst case scenario stack, or Food's trying to bait, but again, the scoping, they might not be close enough to hear it now. And INTZ are sitting on their own time. This is the problem. They have Cello kind of through the choke point, but not really in the clear per se. And they're just killing their own time. They're doing nothing but killing their own time.
It seems like they're like trying to catch CTs pushing, but the problem is that United aren't going to make that mistake. And I wonder if it's kind of the assumption of, we're expecting them to make a mistake. Some damage coming in. There's 14 seconds to plant. Well, less than that to actually plant the bomb. You need 3.5 seconds to plant it. And will there be anybody to stop this? Oh, that's so close. That could have helped to win the round. I'm not sure if they would have been trying to pick it up and plant it again, but
You saw Food take that shot towards main. That was the yell. That was the bomb carrier, which is why he goes straight to stop sign to try and thwart the bomb plant. We saw that. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, INTZ, those plays they're scary to watch.
Yeah.
It's like they're convinced of one thing. But I honestly feel like, is that a Brazilian scrims thing? Because you don't really see many other teams put themselves in precarious situations like this.
So like cutting the pace like that can be really powerful if you've just gone really fast and so on and so forth. You can catch maybe flanks if they're happening, or maybe the other team hasn't adjusted to your change of pace, so they're still aggressively taking angles, and then they open themselves up to an unfavorable duel, and then you overwhelm the bomb site and win the round. But in that situation, you've forced the CTs all the way back and created all this space for yourself, and you haven't taken the position, which puts yourself in more risk, because if Food gets the first, I guess 2 kills, the round could have just been lost. So position is king. There are some really good examples of T-side using the like cutting pace completely in outside takes, which are really effective. Astralis have a lot of good examples of that if you ever watched that play train. In big tournaments.
Yeah, we'll get a pick off of Vanity on top of the blue. Zan taking out Freakazoid, but Cooper with the AWP behind the bomb train. Now INTZ knows that he's just chilling in the spot. Mazel tov.
1 minute on the clock in this 3 versus 3. Cooper goes back towards the B bomb site, and that's where the bomb appears to be headed. A fast rotation, in fact. He's going deeper, and Food will join him with Marquis moving closer to T-Con, just in case. Flash is heard. There's the first shot from Cooper. The juggle doesn't really pay off for SHZ. Food sees the rotation. He's got a lot of sound cues. Yell is really high up in the open, looking for a quick flick, a quick pick. Falling down now, and there it is, a quick pick from Yell. Sees the barrel of the gun, 1 versus 1 now with 6 HP, and the scope is not heard in time by Cooper. And it is turned around by INTZ with a very late rotation towards B.
Great round by Yell. Now I'm wondering if INTZ's playstyle is maybe scrimming MIBR too much over the years. Because MIBR is a pretty explosive team in terms of they're just trying to find the openings here. A lot of individual kind of map awareness kind of thing on plays. So I'm wondering if that has any effect on the way INTZ is playing. Because they're super slow. They're waiting for pushes all the time. They're waiting for, after a kill, just keep waiting, keep waiting. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta mix it up, at the very least. And they'll get the opening kill into Marquis, so that is a great start. And well, Cooper's actually found himself a free one on the ladder, so that's a good way to respond. Giving up the forward position though, and the Ivy pressure comes in now. And well, they just try to walk out, or we get a smoke somewhere. They'll just try to walk it. Vanity on the green will try to prevent this. But the bomb going Ivy now as well, so 3-man push on Ivy. And a lot of attentions here. For one, spray through the smoke, it's going to work out for Cooper. Freakazoid is in position as well. They have bomb control now, the United.
11 HP for EL. Cello putting in work in the meantime, repositioning. Seems to have an inkling that somebody is in hell. There's a sandwich, and Freakazoid is taken out. 40 seconds for Food. Had to land that one, but he doesn't. He knows where they are, both are roughly. There's time for a rotation. Yell scurrying away with the bomb. I don't think he's seen Cello's elbow by E-Box. Food has just enough cover. Still looking for Yell, but Yell's long gone. Sees Cello by E-Box again. That's a great headshot. Does he have the awareness though? Is he falling back for cover? Does he wonder about the B bomb site? I think it's the former. Yell going for that side plant now. It's planted on B. Yell's in position in time. And at halftime, INTZ will squeeze out 6 rounds on their T side, more than maybe you would have expected. We'll see if they can do any more than that after the break.
your game. 128-tick service for the smoothest, most responsive gaming experience ever. Ensure you game seamlessly with our state-of-the-art FACEIT anti-cheat. Track your progress with advanced stats within your community, country, or region. This is the true ranked experience. Sign up now at faceit.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
United now. I think we will see, I think it's fair to say that we're going to see much faster pace T-side rounds. United now kicking things off without a P250. 2 players with utility, 3 with Kevlar. Zand with a HE and a diffuse kit. Not quite the smoke and diffuse kit we will commonly see with the kit carrier. But Yell has himself a smoke grenade as well. 3 players in A for INTZ, and seems they'll move back to use the range of their USPs and play retake. Cooper's lining up a smoke grenade for the connector position. So here is the use of the utility. How about those grenades? They've got a plan, not just to plant a bomb, but to move up. However, no one's gone wide of Cooper, so we can't go for the bomb plant there. There is help from Food, however, and look how they just continue to push forward. They won't stand around default. They will take the entire train yard and really limit the opportunities here for INTZ.
Jesse might get a flank, so he might have to be the guy to save this one. He's the only one left alive, and now he's dead. And indeed, the B-bomb site is all about taking position towards connector, and if you can get towards CT, that's an enormous bonus. And it's not about sitting back. And you can see here, expert play from United, and also the repositioning from Cooper with the bomb, like just going for the side plant in the angle in which all of his teammates are pushing, so that they can help him, and that's exactly what happens. Got a couple Mac-10s and a Galil out now as well for United, and they're going to understand that the force buy is here. It's it's much more likely to see a force buy than otherwise, generally speaking, unless the scoreline is. Actually, I guess teams generally do it even with a closer scoreline these days. And so
I like buying second round because it helps if you do lose on the next gun round, you have ops, full utility, and everything. And the best chance to win the round, I guess, would be on the second round if you were to buy.
Well, let's see if they can do that. It's United's turn to play anti-eco. Now, the bomb's been thrown on the floor, which is pretty bad because at this point, that's just inviting a rotation. There isn't really anything else it could be. You could fake it, but it's not really happening in CS at the moment. Again, you throw your weapon on the floor, your rifle, it makes the same sound as a bomb hitting the floor, but I think people will be clear that that's the bomb in this situation. 3 players in B, 1 by the ladder. Close flash. SHZ moves forward. There's a 1D for him. A bounce off the ladder, but there's 3 kills for the CTs and hardly a response from United. But there's still a chance to turn things around, or is there? Marky with 44 HP versus a Scout, a Deagle, and another Deagle. Well, next bullet wins as far as the CTs are concerned. Double peek is incoming. So, I don't know that INTZ had the strongest response to hearing the bomb being dropped up top. But it did look worrisome for United, and it turned out that way for sure. Not much you can do about that one Deagle though, but the setup had no response from United.
It's kind of unfortunate that United had to use their Molotovs, and then they didn't take inside as they tossed those Molotovs. It allowed INTZ to kind of reposition themselves inside and to kind of go back in the angles that United just Molotoved off. Oh, he should have ran through.
Yeah, I was rooting for that. I see taking some aggressive position here. Team falling back. I actually like having the Mac 10 closer. It would have been cool to see him stay. Because with the pistols, it's kind of hard to actually face against the Mac 10 in those ranges. But either way, it's like United will take some position towards B. They caused a pretty big rotation towards A, and all the position gained by United is giving them a lot of opportunity here. Good shots coming in, has created a 3v3. Bomb has not really made its way towards the B-bomb train just yet. Now it's going to make its way across with no nades. It's going to be dry. And there's an AK posted up. Looks like Freakazoid has made its way across for the plants. And at the very least, 2 kills in the plant. That's a great minimum.
And maybe there's a chance for more. SHZ getting dropped. Awkward positions for all concerned. INTZ don't have the info. United trying to defend the bomb from bristle positions. Both players tagged for the T's. Cooper peeks, he's in trouble. Destiny trying to bait now. There's the peek, and Cooper's on the high ground. Cello falling off, Cooper rotating around. Can he get there in time? I don't think he can. He will keep his armor. He's got $1,000 to lose there. Smart stuff. Damage done. Maybe they can capitalize on it in the future, but for now, it looks like United are heading to Eco Town.
Or not, because I just saw a Krieg being bought.
Hero Krieg, surely.
Oh, that's cool. You know, you sacrifice the money of one player and beef up Marquee in this instance. Given how well Food has been playing, as well as Cooper, I almost would want the green on them, but it's all good. And we get the HEs that INTZ managed to use so effectively, working pretty well for United as well. Looking for that push, but he's going to get fragged instead. Not perhaps expecting a Krieg. They've actually managed to get a kill off the Krieg, and the HEs put Destiny down to 13. So this is looking pretty bright for United. If they could find a way into a bomb site now, perhaps go for that B push or something. Well, maybe never mind, because
And he's out.
kill on Ivy. Basically everything is a possibility now.
Wonder if Food named himself after the MF Doom album. Well, the AWP is a long way away. And into the B bomb site they go. There are no CTs here. Surely the players by ladder can hear this push into the B bomb site. Looks like INTZ might be saving. Back and forth affair at the beginning of the second half on train. INTZ have, their greatest hits have come and gone. They will head towards Ivy to hold on to what they have to retire. That is quite the turnaround. Now, Food and Vanity have nothing to lose in this round, so they can certainly hunt. Their likelihood of... Oh, wait, a M4's been collected. The likelihood of damage being done by the Glocks is, of course, tiny. Marky had a flash, but never mind. 3 will survive for INTZ. They will have to drop, surely. They'll have to force buy around these rifles.
Great strat by United. Hero buy comes out big, taking a page out of a Vengar's book. Now
Yeah.
INTZ, they're able to save 3 guns, so that's a plus.
Yeah, the pick on yellow is really surprising. Over on the green train. We'll see now if they can continue the battering of INTZ's economy. Dan will announce his presence with the spray on the B ramp. And United up. I wonder if they'll try to go for IV control. Looks like they won't. They are going to give it up.
There's a molly for the sandwich position. Oh, he eats the flashbang and he's able to run away. Now the problem, though, is that they have to assume that the main position is compromised, although it seems to have an instant answer, which is pretty cool. Nobody close left, as can now be seen by Freakazoid. That's important. It's important for the CTs to know that you've retaken that, as well as for your own self. There's 1 minute on the clock. There's the molly. Is there a HE behind it? No. Just a poke down the ladder, it seems. There's a trade. But now what? 45 seconds. Destiny pops into ladder, so all the information that INTZ had, they still have. Food makes assumptions, but things can change pretty quickly. And now there are only 3 plays left at United. 35 seconds as they only just now go through T-Block.
I think Cooper's disconnected or something. He's just not moving.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, pretty big problem, considering this could have been a winnable situation. But now, just gonna stare in there.
That gun will soon fall to the floor.
Awkward.
And Cooper will disappear. The magic trick is coming. It's a mere few seconds away.
I feel like this happens to him a lot, Cooper. I feel like his computer, internet, something always crashes with him. Oh.
Surely he's going to disappear. There we go. There's the magic trick.
At least
Few
I'll
seconds
drop
late.
this round, though, right?
Yeah. God, I played a game, a matchmaking game, where I dropped my AWP to drop somebody else a gun, and the bot picked up my AWP, and even though it was nowhere near him, and then the player who was missing reconnected, and the bot disappeared with my AWP, and I had no money to buy another weapon. And I emailed this to Valve. I forget what the response was, but
I may have been in that
put it this
game
way,
with you.
there was no change. It was on Office. I'd be surprised. But I was yes. I was more than disappointed. I think I was streaming as well. I was, maybe, I don't know. I made a video about it. I was disappointed. American internet is unusual though. There's, people have storms and things and their internet goes down. Of course, we've got fires in California. I found out now why the power is cut in areas for a few days to try and stop fires. It's because there are like hurricane level winds in parts. So if a power line goes down and it causes a spark, that spark would cause a fire. So you just cut the power to an entire area to try and avoid this.
So there's another behind the thing in that story. Is because the fire of last year in San Fran, like one of the biggest in history, is because the power company did not, I guess, secure their lines, or how do you say? I guess secure. What's the word I'm trying to look for here?
Well, I was
fix their
looking.
lines.
I was looking at power lines. I was outside a building. We were doing some work with Intel on the weekend, and I was outside the building just looking. Because it takes a moment. As a European, you don't see, at least in London, you don't have power lines just like in the sky. They're all underground. So seeing all those big tree logs essentially with the power lines on top and how they're secured, they're all tied to each other. So if like one falls, the others will hold it up, but they have their own supports as well. So I was just looking at how they put structural integrity into those. So perhaps there wasn't so much integrity in some of the other places.
I always found pylons really eerie, because in the countryside where I was, you could easily just like be in the wilderness and there's a big pylon, because they're all over the wilderness. You hear the buzzing of the electricity. This huge metallic structure in the middle of nowhere by itself. No one else there. It's just really weird.
It's where we live in, man. Technology, we need it. We need electricity. We need the juice.
Yeah.
Cooper's power's gone.
Oh dear.
I wonder where Cooper's been living. You guys know what area?
That's a rough spot.
I've never doxed Cooper, so
I mean, this is a rough spot because we don't know. Like, no one knows when his power's going to come back. So, what is the solution for this?
well,
A2Z,
apparently
hop
he's
on
moving.
in.
He's moving PC. I have communication that you don't, Dan. I'm in touch with the people.
He's moving
As the host of
PC.
the
Is that what
show.
you just said?
I have the information. Yeah.
Wait, how
He
is
lost.
he moving?
I don't know. I don't need to know. If it's happening, it's happening. Okay. That's all I need to know. It's all fine.
Going to his neighbor's house?
I don't think I've lost power in America before. Have you? As
Yeah.
a person who.
Not in a while.
Okay,
Like
this
during
might be
thunderstorms.
this might be a few minutes before this is solved. So let's head to a break. When we're back, Cooper will once again have power.
We hope.
Cooper has returned to the server. EUNITED are 2 rounds ahead. Now, if you're looking for a notification on when some of the other matches were going live on Caffeine, then now is the time. You can see the information below. Vu, CSGO, and Keymix are doing the relevant matches. ATK are coming up later, but for now, we have Team 1 and X Singularity. Marvelous! Right squad as well. Is that right squad? That's right squad, right?
Yep,
FNS's
right squad.
team coming up later on.
Good old Peter.
PTR. Anyway, back on this server, we have EUNITED 2 rounds up. Vanity will have the Deagle, Food on the Mac-10, and Cooper on the AWP.
FATK are the 3rd best team in North America right now. By the way, we've got ourselves a CT side here for as I said, Luminosity. INTZ.
There you go.
Come to Brazil, Dan.
And the burst from United is afoot. How successful is that to be in this position? Very successful. 2 kills is absolutely a good result. Oh my words. I thought Yale had Vanity dead to rights, but apparently not. Freaks little close down position towards Connector. And it's not looking too bad for United. INTZ have 2 on the high ground though, which will be pretty strong actually, given the current positions. There's only 1 man to worry about up there, which is Vanity.
Oh dear. He has lost position and now he can gain it thanks to his brother-in-arms. Both players low. There is a Molotov, but there's also a smoke, a master stroke. Smoke, the Molotov is up high. The smoke will create plenty of space for the bomb to be defused, but nobody's on it. Cello with 2, and the bomb will be defused. INTZ make it to 10. 1 round behind now. A close one, but a successful one as far as INTZ are concerned. They've won 4 of the 6 rounds so far in this half. They'll come into this one looking to win a 5th.
What's nice about having a long pause for United is that they're able to have pretty much 1 long time out. Talk about what's wrong, what they could do better. Unfortunate for INTZ, but I guess you can take what you can get. Is United, they are going to do some kind of half buy. Vanity playing buying a little bit more than should.
Oh dear, this could cost a lot. The continuation spray, the aim punch, he can't pull his pistol out. The trades continue, and there's so much damage done. Marky's got the AWP. He backs away. He might be hurt by Destiny. Indeed he is. You can see Destiny turning around immediately. Way too much running from Marky. That's something for you to be aware of at home. If you're running through Ivy and as a player in the hell position, that distance you can see on the radar is enough to see that somebody, to hear that somebody is there. For example, it's like if you're behind the sandbags in the deep corner on Inferno, on Banana, and someone's running Speedway, you can hear that rotation, which is why you will see CTs go a long way around CT spawn instead. Also, if you're in Connector on Overpass, and players are going down towards Monster and then running before those stairs, you'll also hear them running there.
Marky has so much time as well, so he had time to take time. And how's he going to play this one out? Could try to get a kill, then go for the plant. Or he could just go for the straight plant. Looks like he's going to drop from the high ground to go for the plant. And a forward smoke to make things a little bit more difficult for the CTs. Marky needs to get connections here. This is winnable if he hits the next shot, because they're getting closer and closer. Has to hit the next one. It's a leg. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Well, if he gets a double, that's going to work too.
Ooh, baby, a double. Oh, yes.
That was pretty unbelievable, to be honest.
Yeah, he's pretty fortunate. Pretty fortunate this works. That's kind of crazy.
And up to that point, INTZ was playing it actually pretty well. They're staying together. They will not, try to peek one-on-one angles against the op, but they both lined up against an AWP.
Oof, it's really hurt the money badly for INTZ. They're in a pretty rough spot. Now they have pistols. Surefire way for United to make quick work of the pistols is to use their utility, is to go together. Don't isolate yourselves, don't spread out too much. Have good timings in terms of when you're going to gain position, when you're going to burst positions, good spacing. And how are they going to do this one? The outer bomb site has a lot more risk in terms of getting a bomb down. Okay, minute left. Got to keep our eye on the time here.
Yeah, just like we focused on this for INTZ, United have had troubles on these anti-egos and anti-force fires. I think more than once. You can see, I mean, Quicksilver has to be careful here. Goes for the reload, but he could be targeted. But that said, he could be running distraction. However, that does not seem to be the case as we have T's moving in behind him. Defenses are low and the frag starts to stream in with good time on the clock. So this is one of the easier tests, if you will. INTZ did not have all that much to bring into this round. And it seems they won't leave with much either, even less in fact. Most likely anyway. You never know what Xander might pick up if he is able to survive. I wonder what these gloves are called. I'm happy with my gloves, but I'd like to know what things are. I have to look on the intertubes later.
Seems like you're not happy with your gloves.
Oh yeah, but I can appreciate.
Okay,
I can appreciate.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I wonder if one day there'll be like a book. You know, like I spoke about my watch book earlier. I've got 2 more on my desk for horology books. Talking to a colleague about sneaker books. I have a CSGO skins book. Go to Chinatown in San Francisco, and you'll see in the window CSGO knives, complete with CSGO styling on them. Poorly done jobs, but literally with a note on the side saying CSGO knives. That's how into the culture it is, if you will.
That's great. Can you actually cut with those knives?
I didn't test.
You should.
So when I met you in San Francisco.
Yeah. I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I went around Chinatown with my buddy and saw them in the window. That was an interesting surprise. But popular is popular.
We have a lot of stuff in Chinatown and San Fran. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good fortune cookies, too.
And some tat as well. Some junk.
So INTZ, what can you do? You have kind of a wonky buy here. You have 1 kit, very little utility, but you do have an AWP on Yell, which could be the saving grace. Now, do you go for a fast pick? Maybe try to put Yell in a good spot, try to get a early kill, then fall back. That'd be the ideal. But United looks like they're going to do an outside rush here. Here comes the smokes and flashes.
There's tools in the box. Yell has the angle though towards the Lockmeister from Ivy. Such a strong sniper position. Look at the frags flying in for INTZ. Record time, 1:40, and there are 5 unanswered frags. And maybe rounds like that are why INTZ wait till the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's United just kind of ran into a brick wall right there.
At least they died together.
For a common goal, for a common cause.
Exactly.
Like Zealots, they went in with no hesitation.
I was thinking for Ire, as you said that, like right before you said that. They're probably like Zealots, I don't know what you call them. Zealots, Zealots?
Zealots.
Zealots. Yeah. Shall they fast into ladder control? Is he going up? I think so. That would be dangerous. Don't do anything? No. I guess the glass has to be broken for that to work.
United's been doing a pretty good job of taking control of this ladder room, and they drop down, getting Cello off guard. Now that's an early pick for United. They can just go back up and kind of let INTZ throw some utility.
They creep in Ivy now. This is going to be the second phase of the round for United. They got a 5v4. They got that ladder room under control initially. They force INTZ to expend utility to retake it. Yell's got the position, and there is the smoke. That's going to push Yell into a more passive spot. And both players trying to abuse the smokes as they dissipate. Destiny wins that battle. So we have a potential wrap through CT. That could be a possibility, or a fake if Fantasy wants to walk down into B, but he's going to go back. Marky up on the box here. There's nobody around. What do they make of this? Gonna start moving towards that bomb plant. It's 20 seconds to go.
Out Marky comes. Where are the CTs? You want to plant for Ivy. Someone needs to cover the ladder room spots. Yeah, that's a big spray down. The molly's there for ladder. Destiny can't peek and the bomb's planted. The minimums are ticked off. Man advantage on the retake. Zand by Olga. Message said above the ladder, but Vanity is a while back dealing with that. Now what does Destiny choose to do?
This is a very weird round from INTZ. They just completely abandoned the A site. Full abandonment. Nobody with any eyes on the bomb side at all, which is a
They
problem.
had Heaven. They had a player Heaven.
Well, no, but he wasn't peeking at all, though. He didn't peek at the site once.
But to be fair, it was kind of unusual for EUNITED just to walk out Ivy like that with no utility, no nothing. I'm sure INTZ was going to maybe, they see some smokes utility, they'd probably react a little better. But it's just such a good call by EUNITED just to sneak out that Ivy.
So Yell didn't move a muscle. He's in the deepest corner above the ladder. Would he have seen anyone even if they come out towards from T-Con?
T-Con? Not T-Con, but
Only
if they
two peaks,
swing,
really.
Because they could have also walked out T-Con.
in that spot, he could only see if they swing towards red, and I think Sandwich if he peeks at a
Yeah.
small tight angle on Sandwich.
Very, very odds. Didn't give themselves too much of a chance to defend, unfortunately, but they can remedy the situation in this round. They've got to buy. Yeah, looking for that solid peek into T-Con. This is a good peek. Strong peek there from him. He wins the battle and falls back.
It's a deep molly, but is it a false sense of security? Vanity hoping somebody walks in. Destiny almost had his knife out there. Not expecting Vanity to be in position, and it does work out the way it was threatening to, but even better, 2 frags for Vanity, turning things around, giving them a 4 versus 3 with control of ladder. Whether they have somebody there or not, surely INTZ don't pursue that position, having lost 2 players. Although I say that, we have Sand getting close to ladder. There's a flank from Marquee, and then there were 2. Pushes into A, finds half the information. Food keeping an eye on Cello's spot. Looks like EUNITED are heading towards 15. Yell, they know exactly where he is now. That smoke into the molly kind of conceded every chance that there may have been. Suggesting he's going ladder. He's inviting a rotation, but is he actually going to go for this? Maybe. He's got all his health. He's actually going towards ladder again, or faking it. Not really sure if he's going for it or not, but that clock is getting more ticked. He's got a kit, but it would be a race to the site at this point, and it is being held by Cooper on the high ground, as you can see. Yeah, maybe fishing for something, hiding in plain sight, but it will be EUNITED heading towards that 15th round. This is the pick of INTZ. Let's not forget EUNITED picked Vertigo as the second map.
So really, that round came together so well. The Marquis Lurk could easily got 2 kills with that one. It's just like the timing of all of it was really good. They actually played that round out so well. Obviously the second kill from ladder, that's unexpected, but tough one for INTZ.
It's a nice odd timing. Good lurks from Marquee and EUNITED. Early flash from Marquee. Destiny though, he does get inside the ladder room. This is what they've been pretty much, INTZ's been doing almost every single round. Heavy ladder play. That's why these teams, the T side's been emphasizing on clearing ladder, throwing nades, throwing molotovs. Make them uncomfortable.
Bonk.
Pew pew. Okay, you're in a 4v5. Your opponents have only 2 serviceable weapons. It's time to go together. It's a good frag from Food, opening things up the CT side now. Don't have too much movement. Just Cello reoccupying ladder room. Is there a gun here? Looks like there is something on the ground. Should be able
Maybe
to pick
fearing
that
it's
one
being protected from above the ladder. Cooper will catch SHZ on the run like his prison break. but in reverse.
That was unlucky timing for SHC. Shiz.
Well, there's a creep up a B. Oh, you wonder about time now. Is Vanity trying to sell something? The bomb makes its way through the IV position as there's maybe they've pulled rotation towards the B bomb site. Then again, maybe not. Zan goes beyond 2 Molotovs and he will catch the bomb planter off guard. There's just no cover there. Nobody watching connector. They thought the Molotovs were brick walls. Cooper will plant the bomb. Back trains now. Where does he think it's safe to go? Cello running distraction. He knows it's a bait, but where is the second player? The barrel of his gun may have been seen now. I'm not 100% sure. Doesn't look like it was. Jumping on a train now. No one's touched the bomb just yet. Perfect angle. Instant punish. Now, yeah, does he go for the hero defuse? Because he's got the defuse kit. He's creeping with the Krieg. He sees nothing. He's heard on the ladder. He's conceded his position. A Molotov, that's the MVP play. There's no smoke for Yell. And I don't think there's time to do it. It's going to have to be the hero. Olive Mites to defuse. Oh! The angle actually.
My.
The molly wasn't in the right place. It would have made all the difference.
Even Yell didn't think he had it until he saw. Yikes. That's a toughie right there. That's a hard pill to swallow.
It's even worse when you're playing the bomb and you have 2 teammates right next to you and you still get picked off. I'd be pretty upset if I was Freakazoid. But life back into INTZ. The game is not over yet. 15-12. United. Going more of a defaulty, pushing back Lee Brown Halls, making noise, maybe try to bait any early utility in the B. Especially if you're a CT playing up close, you'd hear these footsteps. You might be attempted to throw some nades, and there's a peak lower ramp, and Cello spots 3 of them.
Yeah, but what can you do? Not enough. Zan drops a smoke, tries to play a timing. Freakazoid goes for the default plant food, creating space with smokes at the back of the site. That is quite the choke point. Now what is the play from INTZ? Double AWP retake. Does Food have any help in this deep position? He's got Freakazoid by connector. Waiting for the flash to come in, but Yell spots him first. Maybe there's a chance for INTZ.
They actually buy a lot of time, actually, with that smoke play, even though he died for no kill. Oh my god, Yell's just hopping his way through forwards. And Freakazoid in the forward spot as well, has to pick the right timing. I mean, he can help his team win this one as well. Down to Marky, and Zand has it covered, but they have enough time to get the bomb. It's going to be close. Oh, we can't find it in the smoke.
There's no kit.
Oh dear.
There is a kit.
Oh, but it's over 16-12. United will win map 1. They will win train. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, it was a very long first half with the slow approaches from INTZ. It almost feels like 2 series in 1. And yeah, I think, I don't know, until we see otherwise, that has to be a must-win for INTZ. EUNITED with the pick of Vertigo next. I just don't know. Again, until proven otherwise, it's got to be a 2-0 from my view. But we'll wait and see. It's going to be an interesting one. See what kind of strats any team has to pull out on current Vertigo. See if it's a masterstroke for EUNITED or if it'll come back to bite them in the face.
Yeah, it was just a little too slow of a start by INTZ. Couldn't figure out how to beat EUNITED's single and double op style. Because EUNITED came out pretty early with the 2 ops. It was pretty much dominating the first 8 to 9 rounds.
Yeah, I feel like on the T side for INTZ, we see an all too familiar thing from them and what used to be luminosity in that they're just not trying enough to make progress on their T side. They're waiting for something to be gifted to them, and if it's not, it's just those usual timeout rounds that I would love to see go away more often than not. But here we are, Food with an outstanding overperformance, 3,300 damage, a 30 bomb from him, and that's enough to help EUNITED take it 16-12 over the likes of INTZ. And again, that was the pick of the Brazilian side, and now we move to Vertigo. There's corridors and all sorts of new bits and bobs on Vertigo, and that's just around the corner. We will see you after the break for some high-end action on Vertigo.